The wait is almost over, ladies and gentlemen. We have another Apple event, fourth one this year. Of course, it's also online, and it'll be taking place on November 10th at 10 a.m. And there's very, very interesting products that we could finally see unveiled at this event. So without further ado, let's begin. So Apple sent out the invite images this morning. They had a very interesting new design approach to the Apple logo, which very much every year is able to get me so excited, and I just can't help but get pumped every time I see those invites go out. And this event will probably be mostly about bringing Apple Silicon to the Mac. Tim Cook, a very reliable leaker, dropped this information on us at an earlier Apple event, Quadruple UDC, and said that we would see the first Apple Silicon Macs by the end of this year, and we're almost done. So Apple better start rolling these out fast, and we're pretty confident that the first Apple Silicon Mac that will be available to the market will be a notebook of some kind. But frankly, there's so many different theories on what kind of notebook it could be. But most likely, it will not be a top-tier, ultra-fast 16-inch MacBook Pro replacement. I know, I'm sorry. That's really what I want too. I'd be very, very interested to see how fast, a 16-inch MacBook Pro could be if Apple had complete control on the inside as well. But this is most likely going to be an emphasis on how performance can be really great despite having a very small, compact, and light notebook, and it's possible that this could be an updated MacBook Air or potentially even a 13-inch MacBook Pro, because it didn't really get the same refresh treatment that the 16-inch MacBook Pro did, and I, as well as many others, were wondering if that's because they planned on refreshing the 13-inch MacBook Pro later in 2020 so they didn't go too crazy with it. Those entry-level models are still rocking older Intel CPUs, so maybe this is right where the new Apple Silicon can slide in and offer great performance, great battery life, and potentially, sadly, kind of the same old design. There are still mini LED MacBooks rumored to come out in 2021, but I wouldn't expect to see those unveiled at this event. This might just be a start. This might just be the proof of concept for Apple to be like, okay, here's our new Silicon, here's how fast it is, here's how great the power efficiency is. And that in itself, I think, could end up being a very, very popular MacBook, especially if it's priced well, which I imagine to be priced around the same of whatever notebook it's replacing. So if it's replacing the MacBook Air, it'll probably start at $1,000. If it's replacing the 13-inch MacBook Pro, it'll probably start at $1,300. I don't expect Apple Silicon to be significantly cheaper. I just think it'll be better value. So keep that in mind moving forward as well. While yes, it is a little bit cheaper for Apple to use their own in-house design processors instead of buying CPUs from Intel, they're likely not going to just lower the overall cost. They're just going to increase the value by giving you more RAM, giving you more storage, and it'll make it feel like you don't have to get an upgraded tier MacBook and you don't have to opt for higher storage configurations because those will be made the default. And of course, Apple Silicon performance will be much better than before. So all good things, but expect the pricing to be about the same. I doubt it would even be much more expensive, but this is Apple we're talking about, so I'm going to consider it possible. And the other really, really exciting product I think could be announced at this event is the redesigned iMac. And the iMac has looked so dang similar for so long. It drives me nuts how basically from the front the iMac has been the same for 10 years. And I think Apple was just waiting for the transition to Apple Silicon to make this big jump, as several leakers and several analysts have been talking about this rumored updated iMac design that would very much resemble the iPad Pro, kind of squared off edges, same size, thin bezel all the way around, except of course bigger and on a stick. And Ming-Chi Kuo, who has a decent track record, talked about this iMac launching at around 24 inches sometime in the fourth quarter of this year, which is, now. So I'm hoping that we could at least see this iMac at this event. Of course, nothing's set in stone, nothing's confirmed, and it's possible that they could unveil this new iMac and then pull an iPad Air and say, well, not coming until next month, or this is coming in the springtime, or something like that. I don't like it when Apple does that, but either way, I would be very, very excited to see a final redesign to the iMac that would make it look modern and not so dated as it's been for years. It would also make sense to replace the 21.5-inch iMac because that one did not get very many updates, even though the 27-inch iMac that was refreshed earlier in the year, that did get quite a bit of refresh. So maybe it's because they don't plan on replacing the 27-inch iMac just yet, but they did plan on replacing the smaller one first, and 24 inches with thinner bezels would probably sit in a very similar footprint to the current smaller iMac. The other thing to expect, which I feel like the boy who cried wolf talking about this, is AirTags. They've been confirmed by Apple directly. I mean, literally in an Apple support support video, their little settings tab referenced AirTags, and we've been seeing them referenced in iOS code for years. I think we originally saw them referenced way back in iOS 13. We originally saw the codename AirTags, and it's just incredibly obvious that Apple's had some type of geo-tracking devices in the works for a long time. That, of course, will incorporate into the Find My app, and you'll be able to attach these little tags, which we also saw some patents that showcase how they might work with accessories, little keychains. You can put them on your bike, you can put them in your backpack, attach them to anything you want to keep track of, and for whatever reason, Apple was not able to launch these despite having them in development for so long. Maybe it has something to do with the ultra-wideband chip, because that's the primary thing most people are speculating the U1 chip in all our new Apple products is for. They're typically designing that so that it's easier to use with the Find My app, and it can help you with ultra-precise device locating even within your own house. It'll walk you through where to find your devices and where to find your little AirTags that are attached to whatever you guys happen to lose. And Love to Dream even said that they're coming in 2 sizes, which confused me. I don't know why we need 2 different size devices that don't even have screens and we're just attaching them to things. Maybe one of them has a way longer battery life, or maybe one of them has a speaker and the other one doesn't. I'm not sure, but I'm personally hoping they don't have interchangeable batteries, because I kind of get sick of older devices that I have to update the batteries for and have to go to the store and pick up new ones. I really hope you can recharge these with either the Apple Watch Charge Puck or standard Qi charging, or I know a lot of people don't like lightning, but even that, I would rather just plug them into a lightning cable for a little while and then they're good. Their battery can last them for like 6 months to a year, and you can attach them to whatever you need. And that's pretty much everything that you should likely expect to come out at this November event. But of course, Apple likes to surprise us sometimes. There could be other things in the work. There could be a Apple Silicon Mac Mini, or perhaps an unveiling of AirPods Studio. I know that's something on a lot of people's minds. When are we going to get the Apple over-ear headphones? Well, from what I've read, it sounds like they might be going through some mass production issues, so they might have had to push those back into 2021, which sucks. But my hope is that we could at least see an unveiling of AirPods Studio at this event. But of course, there's been a lot of disappointments with the past few Apple events, so I say keep your expectations low. You know, the Time Flies event was 1 hour, and even the iPhone 12 event was about an hour, so I would expect this November event to pretty much just be another 60 minutes, and hopefully significantly less talk about 5G, because I'm done with this whole 5G stuff. I don't want to hear more about 5G, unless maybe with Apple Silicon they can start making MacBooks that have cellular support. That would be kind of cool. I don't need them to say 5G repeatedly over and over again, but still, cellular on a MacBook, even if it was just 4G, that would be awesome. If Apple Silicon could allow for that, I mean, iPads have Apple Silicon and they have cellular. Maybe this is how they can make that happen. I don't know. Either way, I've been in the market for a Mac for like the past 2 years, and something keeps popping up. Either Mac Pro was more expensive than I thought, or Apple Silicon transition is about to take place, so I keep pushing back my purchase date, but I might end up getting one of the Macs announced at this event, so I'm excited. Are you guys planning on picking anything up? Feel free to let me know. This is your Apple Sheep here. I'll see you in the next one.